We need to clarify the term flat earther. My opponents today, Alan and Dominik, are not flat earthers in the simplistic sense that might describe people from ancient cultures who made naive assumptions about the world prior to scientific knowledge becoming available. Oh no, in today's world, as far as I'm aware, that type of flat earther doesn't exist anymore. I've never met one, and I'm willing to bet neither has anyone here. Quite the contrary, Alan and Dominik are members of a very specific modern-day cult movement that I call Rowbothamism, because it started with Samuel Burley Rowbotham. Here it is right here, the first appearance of Alan and Dominik's ideology, the core of which is almost completely unchanged in the last 150 years. It remained in relative obscurity all that time until around 10 years ago when it started growing on social media through memes and conspiracy theory groups. Consider the question, where does the sun go at night? For 10,000 years, humanity has known the answer. Down, below the horizon. It's obvious. You'll notice this basic observational fact agrees with both the globe and all ancient flat cosmologies. Yes, I checked. It's all of them. And yet, one day, Samuel Rowbotham decided out of the blue to throw out that answer and instead say, no, really the sun moves away horizontally. It's an illusion due to perspective. This will sound familiar to anyone who's dealt with a present-day Rowbothamist such as Alan and Dominik. They still repeat the exact same cult dogma today. We Globers call it flirfspective because it makes a butchered, incoherent mess of perspective geometry. An object's vertical position in your eye or camera lens is dictated by the inner angle of this right triangle. You'll notice that no matter how long you make the bottom leg of the triangle, it will never, ever, ever make that angle go negative, as we see the sun do every day. Perspective doesn't work that way, and any simpleton who can pass high school geometry should know better. The sun goes up and down, but Alan and Dominik must deny that as part of their cult doctrine. They are sunset deniers. The way an object can recede infinitely without ever crossing that zero line is by following a non-linear pattern. It's like dividing the angle in half every time the distance doubles. Each time the position in your eye moves less than before, so the spacing in a time-lapse like this one is extremely variable. No two frames are the same distance apart because it's slowing down the whole time. Is this what the sun does? No, not even close. I took a 3-hour time-lapse of sunset using 2 identical cameras, one with Weldon glass, one without, while I tracked the sun's position using a compass and sextant. In the resulting time-lapse, the spacing is fixed. It's the same distance between every pair of images. That sun cannot be moving away from the camera due to perspective. This evidence makes that obvious. So, Alan and Dominik, let me be frank with you for a moment. On top of being scientifically wrong and mathematically incoherent, your occult dogmas have no foundation in any other form of human thought. They spring into existence out of nowhere, almost fully formed, but unlike Mormons or Muslims or Buddhists, you don't even have the self-awareness about that to say they came from God or an angel or something. Apparently, you think Samuel Rowbotham was just randomly born as the only free thinker the world had ever seen, but he's not even a big enough deal to mention? There's a reason your cult not only attracts but celebrates disreputables, malcontents, and unteachable dropouts. There's a reason that these conversations are basically internet bar fights instead of grown-up discourse on a real-world stage. Your belief system's made of memes that are 5 years newer than Minecraft. Where did you think it came from? What were you both doing in 2009? While I was comparing my lifelong, biblically grounded young earth creationist beliefs against mainstream science at a college level, deeply exploring the apologetics of theology, anthropology, and how worldview does or doesn't affect science. You don't get to fall in here backwards, crash the party, then act like you got here first. If you want to tickle your brain's limbic system with a pack of self-indulgent spy thriller fantasies where you roleplay as Morpheus, don't call it real and spread defamatory misinformation about Jews, astronauts, and Freemasons. If you want to be taken seriously, don't base your identity on preaching lies. Rowbothamism is deliberate insanity, and I think any reasonable viewer is about to see that firsthand. I just presented a perfectly sound, bulletproof globe argument based in geometry and my personal measurements of sunset. But neither of you are going to even attempt a logical rebuttal. If you don't run from the topic entirely, I predict you will answer by playing semantic games, nitpicking random unimportant details, spewing word salad perspective, and inventing ad hoc rescuing devices. It's like perfect clockwork, because you do not care about truth. It's all show, no substance, only brainwashed cult dogmas. Thank you.